Hello and welcome.
Joining me today is my wife. She has graciously volunteered to join me for another Wife vs. Sci-Fi. And what is the delightful show that I picked out for you this time?
7 days.
Now, we found out something a couple nights ago when we tried to do this the first time, and that is the premiere episode of 7 Days is in fact
Two-parter.
2 parts. So, because, kids don't let us do things twice rapidly like that, we had to skip a couple days, and now we are here to finish the second part. And during the first part, we were trying things a little bit differently. We just watched the episode, and after we did that, we realized that we missed out on a couple really interesting insights Amy had, a couple good reactions that she had to certain scenes. So for this one, we are going back to the way we did for Farscape, and we will give a quick recap as we go into both episodes here. Meet Parker, Frank B, serial number... No, wait. That's not going to work for the show. We need to amp this up a little bit to appropriately capture the spirit of the show. Meet Parker, Frank B, serial number 923880305. He's an ex-CIA operative who's refused to divulge intel for a hostile foreign agency despite being tortured and kept in a metal box in the hot sun for a week with no food or water. However, his patriotic silence left a lingering mental scar, and after suffering a complete mental breakdown, he has been detained in an undisclosed government mental institution. When tragedy strikes the nation, he is recruited into the best-kept secret of the nation. That aliens really did crash into New Mexico? Keep reading! What? And scientists have been able to use that technology to create a device to let them go back in time 7 days. The project, codenamed Backstep, is caught in a race against the clock to find the culprit, finish the work on the time machine, and train Parker all within 7 days of the event they want to undo. But tragedy strikes a second time when Parker learns that the plane crash that killed the president also released a dangerous poisonous gas that hit an elementary school where his estranged wife had enrolled their son. Fueled with righteous determination, Parker endures the extreme pain associated with the backstep, tracks down the foreign agent, gets a heroic shoulder wound, and saves the day. America! Okay, so that was the pilot episode of 7 Days. What was your favorite part of these 2 episodes?
Well, of course, when the boy was saved.
Okay. What was your least favorite part of these 2 episodes? A harder question.
Fighting? We're back to the fighting.
A lot of fighting in this one. Now, this...
there was actual murder scenes throughout.
Wait.
A lot.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about that. This is technically classified as a sci-fi show.
More action.
There's a lot more action, but do you think there's a genre of shows that this really fits in? Gathering Clues. It was very much the police procedural show. They just threw time travel in with it. So each episode of this, they start off with just like Castle or like CSI.
Okay.
There's a murder or something really bad happens. And it's a bad to the level of it being a national event in each episode.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not every episode is like the president dies, but it's usually something like a world summit, something went wrong, a global scientist who's on a major breakthrough. I know I do these so late at night. You're such a good sport. I really appreciate it. Or like a senator or something like that. So it's something where it's like, okay, it's in America's best national interest to authorize the backstep. Mm-hmm. And they send Frank back in time.
Every episode?
Every episode.
Oh my.
So the first half of the episode is them gathering the clues, figuring out who done it. Then the backstep happens. And then the last little act will be him chasing down what they found out in the first part of the show. And usually some wrinkle happens. So his intel is slightly wrong, or once he goes back, he's hurt in some way. Typical time travel tropes. But it really is just, it's like a really actiony police procedural show with time travel. Mm-hmm. So
it is sci-fi. Like if you look at the official classification on IMDb or Wikipedia, they say this is a sci-fi show, but it really is more of a action police show.
Yeah.
But it's still like this is one of my favorite time travel kind of anythings. Now, obviously, you have your favorite time travel stuff because I know you just love the time travel. For example, there was that group of people. They went back in time. They pretended like they were in like World War I or II. They lived in a really fancy mansion in Europe somewhere. Downton Abbey.
It's not time travel.
Well, it's a period set piece. It's halfway to time travel. Okay, so you don't really have your favorite time travel stuff, but how did you think this one did on the time travel aspects? Did they do a good job explaining the time travel mechanics in this?
Didn't pay much attention to it. I guess.
Like, did you buy that this was a reasonable enough explanation for time travel being possible?
Of course, because I know time travel's not real.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
So I didn't pay any attention to it, literally.
Okay, but I mean, like, in DuckTales, they have a bathtub that is powered by popsicles, basically, that can travel through time. So in terms of a believability, even though you know time travel is not possible, would you rank alien technology as slightly more believable than popsicle bathtub machine?
Neither.
Okay.
Let's just move forward.
Okay, we'll move forward. Was there any part of the two shows that stuck out to you? Any part that you're like, well, this is...
The romances.
Again, with the romance. So who were the romance interests in this show?
The main character and the redheaded woman.
Okay, so that was Frank Parker, and then Olga Bulkovich.
Her name's Olga.
Her name is Olga.
A little on the nose there.
What?
Spike TV or
Spike TV. We'll call that a Freudian slip. Spike TV. So yes, this 7 Days was licensed, or it was produced by Paramount. And in the late 1990s, Paramount released a channel just for men called Spike TV. And they syndicated things like Star Trek DS9, Voyager, Next Generation. They tried to do some Ren and Stimpy stuff, but it was closed down. They did a couple man show things, Joe Schmo, which was supposed to be like Big Brother. They did a lot of things. But even in the late 1990s, people found that sort of like, hey, let's do man TV, like kind of sexist and offensive. I think there's literally a show that ended with girls jumping on a trampoline in bikinis. It's how some guy who's now working on it's a YouTube channel, The Young Turks. I think there's a host on The Young Turks who gets all up in arms about women's rights today, and he got his start on this show having women jump around on a trampoline. So even back in the late 1990s, people were like, you know what, this is kind of too sexist. Like this is too much. And even by that time, people were moving past the this was very much your very action explosion movie stuff. Like it wasn't quite Michael Bay level, like the Transformers, explosions everywhere. But at the same time, it was definitely lots of explosion. Not too hard on the plot. How did you feel about the pacing of this?
It was good.
Yeah, you felt like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was on the edge of my seat most of the time.
Yeah. So in the first episode, and we didn't realize it was a two-parter, but in the first episode, there was a scene where they successfully bombed the White House and released the poison gas, and the son dies. And the mom comes running in, grabs her son, is screaming and crying, and Amy nopes out. Like, nope, can't do this. Can't handle it. And it's interesting, I'm over here like I'm a man. I can handle seeing someone who looks like my son who's the same age as my son dying. We can do this.
Nope.
As a mother grasps her child
Stop.
who looks like him, and the mom's blonde anyway, so...
Manning up, girling down.
Yeah, I kind of hit close to home, but I kind of felt like the pacing... I felt like they could have done it in one episode.
Yeah, sure.
Like, especially at the end, they really rapid-fired everything together.
I think in this decade, like, we expect things to be condensed much more. Like, even back then, things were more drawn out. Like, whenever my dad growing up was watching a show, it was always like an hour.
True, yeah.
And it was never like a 30-minute show.
Now, I think this was 2 40-minute shows. This because each episode was 40 minutes. If based on this first 2 episodes, the pilot, what would you expect for the rest of this series?
Well, you told me.
I did tell you. I did tell you. Oh, okay. Pretend like you didn't know. Let me just backstep here real quick.
Well, all that I am concerned about is Olga.
Okay. So you want some spoilers on this? So here's the interesting thing.
Unless you're going to make me watch them all.
No, I won't make you watch all of these. Now, there are some extremely classic episodes. Like, I'll get into that in a minute. But Olga and Frank never get together.
Will they, won't they the whole time?
Will they, won't they the whole time. It is 3 seasons, about 21 episodes per season. So what does that come out to? 63-ish episodes, something like that. But they never really get together. There are several episodes, like the best episode, which I might make you watch.
Ooh.
Woo! So the best episode, I think a lot of people would say, and this one's coming up if you'll volunteer to do another one of these in the future. The best episode of a show called Stargate SG-1. And
of a show called.
Anyone who likes Stargate SG-1 is probably already guessing the episode I'm going to talk about. It is the Groundhog Day episode of Stargate SG-1. Are you familiar with the movie Groundhog Day? Bill Murray, same day over and over again. So in SG-1, they have that experience where every morning they start off with the exact same experience.
So they do that in 7 days?
They do that in 7 days. Where
that's cute. I'd watch that.
Like, he goes back in time and something goes wrong with the machinery. And so he's trying to rescue some guy, but he ends up getting shot and finds himself going back in time again, doing the back step in the sphere. And then he gets a little bit further, and then Olga gets killed. And he goes back in time. And he's not the one initiating it. It's just all of a sudden, he's back in the sphere. And so they do this loop and loop and loop and loop. Got it. And each time the loop goes, like, the more erratic he gets and the more angry he gets. Like, what's going on? Why can't I stop this? But I think you might like that one because even though, like, stuff happens, like, there's a really strong dynamic between Olga and Frank. And so there are several episodes where, like, they'll kiss or something. I know, high school. They kissed. I just want to kiss.
Can we switch to the women's channel?
Yeah, we talked about that. Maybe that's what we need to do. We need to do a husband versus
Downton Abbey.
Husband versus period dramas. We can do Call the Midwife and Downton Abbey.
Will you please wear some?
I will absolutely wear something.
Tuxedo.
Sure. If you want to do Downton Abbey or Call the Midwife, anything like that, great. We can do husband versus period drama.
Can we put it on your channel?
Yeah, you bet. So you heard it, guys. If there is a period drama you want me to review, or ladies, yes. But guys, if you're a guy, go get your girlfriend, go get your significant other, go get a mom if you don't have one of those. Go get a sister, anyone who likes period pieces.
Such as Downton Abbey or Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice, Anne of Green Gables, or I guess Anne with an E now. But you get them, or if you have one you like, write down in the comment section below what you want me to watch, and we'll have to switch spots. You'll be the one asking me questions, and I'll be the one rating it.
Wait, we've already seen you dressed up
Well, that didn't count.
with a harmonica, I think?
No. That was classical Matt. It was a different guy. You saw it. It was classic Matt.
I'm
But
sure he's
yeah.
going to show up right here.
I will I will absolutely get into some sort of period set piece. If DJ Odyssey is going to have to get into a rainbow unicorn costume because he lost a bet, I'm willing to get into some sort of top hat something. I'll go to a thrift store and find something. You bet.
All right.
Well, you have any closing thoughts about? Oh yes, how did this compare to Farscape? If you had to watch a second episode of either this show or Farscape.
Oh, no. There's no fake beards in 7 days. What do you even call that thing? Plastic?
Well, I mean, if you want to be like in universe,
I don't know what that means.
they were they were an organ, a male organ of some type, a very sensitive. It wasn't actually involved, but it was revealed early on. He got a cut on it, and part of their species, you have to squeeze any injury until the blood turns clear, or else it turns toxic. So John has to squeeze and get the blood clear.
Okay, stop.
And
Stop.
so it's revealed that that's sensitive.
That is so disgusting.
You did not see that answer coming.
Really walked into that.
So-
Okay.
7 days or Farscape, which
Definitely 7 days.
so even though Farscape was more of a
Especially hearing this tidbit.
well, it's only mentioned like a couple episodes. Even though Farscape is more like a drama, more of a space opera drama, you prefer the high octane Frank Parker. Is it because you saw his abs?
Oh, yeah. With the shoulder wound.
The shoulder wounds?
American flag waving. Man's channel.
Yes, the first network for men.
Spike TV. Yeah, I'm not a Farscape fan. Like, if you said choose one or the other, definitely 7 days.
Okay. Well, that is why I am doing this series. I thought for sure you would have picked Farscape because it is more of a romance plot like
I must
character.
have forgotten the romance part.
Well, I'm from the future. So I know all about these shows. I can tell you everything about how they end.
What am I forgetting?
Aaron's son, she beat him up. I mean, if that's not love, I don't know what is.
It's
She was-
been a long time since we did that video.
She was a dark-haired girl who, she was in the Prowler pilot. And it was the will they won't they between John and her. First thing she did upon meeting him was she punched him in the face hard.
Well, I'm sure I would have enjoyed that, but I can't get over the aliens.
Can't get over the aliens. There we go. So,
No, I'm not going to sleep tonight knowing that new information.
7 days for the win. So again, if y'all have a period drama, please let us know below. And if you have a sci-fi show that you would be interested in my wife giving her review about if it ranks better than 7 days, let us know in the comments below there too.
No aliens, please.
No alien. Oh, that's like okay. Well, we'll see what people have to suggest. It has to be a TV show, not a movie. We barely get enough time to watch 40 minutes together before a kid is waking up.
Our kids wake up a lot.
Oh yeah, they do. Okay, well, you want to start off my outro?
Sure. Until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you.
May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.